Tomorrow in court, I'll just have to keep whittling away at the wood until I fashion something halfway usable. And, well, if that doesn't work, I'll use a chainsaw. Hey, cool kid. Yes, you, trying to look all stoic, staring out the window. A little late to try and look detached after that thing you pulled the other day. I feel like this is like a bully accosting Morgan. Yes, it is. So that wasn't a joke, making that announcement in front of the class? You trying to start a detective club or something? What mysteries? Disappearing cleaning supplies, books not getting returned to the library? Sounds lame. Well, not like that's your fault, everything's lame. Good luck finding members, everyone around here already knows what they're going to do after school. And tomorrow, and next year. They're all staring down the barrel of a lucrative career in telling other companies how to provide web services or whatever the hell this school's supposed to train us for. It's a very eloquent student. A lawyer, if you say so, cool kid. The Megs will probably have robots doing that by the time you graduate, but sure. Law school's supposed to be hard to get into. You need a record that doesn't suck. Getting the club you started shut down because you couldn't get anyone to join probably won't help. Wow, so confident. You really are a cool kid. Interesting. 11:42 a.m. State Building, floor 48. Morgan, please, this is... Hold still and relax, this will be over soon. I thought you were joking about the makeup. Of course I wasn't joking. A face like yours is invaluable in the courtroom. And you think covering me in concealer and blush and applying eyeliner would help you appeal to what demographic exactly? You know the names of all this stuff? I'm a modern man. I know the names of many things, including makeup. Is that your eyebrow gel? Yes. It's cakey. Do you want to do the rest? I think some of the jury might find that his wounds make him look rugged. And furthermore, from an aesthetic perspective, leaving some of his butter... Sarah, what is wrong with you? Excuse me? You're clearly a very devoted martial artist, Sasuke. You should be proud to display your well-defined collarbones as the fruit of your efforts. Just hold still. Appearances matter in the courtroom. 95% of defendants who was ever seen in prison garb at trial are found guilty. Yes, but again, I really think, and let me know in the comments if you think I'm mistaken here, but I really think that him being covered in injuries goes to show the victim angle so much better than him being, like, if he was completely uninjured. You know, it's hard to be like, oh yes, he was tortured and he was the victim in this situation if he's pristine, you know? I don't doubt your tactics work, Morgan. My tactics include getting your suit pressed. Do you want me to wrinkle it back up? I just find them unpalatable. Trying to get to the jury, these citizens to pity me, is shameful. You're worried about honor? Really? You're already a cybernetic ninja, Sasuke. Don't be a stereotype. Don't call other people stereotypes. He's right, Adone. And he's more of a cybernetic samurai since he's sworn himself to a wealthy land-owning noble. I'm confused, Sasuke. Is it honourable how your family makes their money? Made their money? I'm not talking about morality. I'm talking about having principles. Yes, they're subjective, and yes, they can be hypocritical. But the further you stray from the common path, the more you need them. I mean, what about her? What would Sarah be like if she didn't have tenets to guide her programming? Well, I imagine she'd flirt a lot more. That seems to be a change that she does in this one. She flirts a lot. Tenets, yes, these are the 3 laws of robotics, etc., that guide people. I'll just read this to make sure there's nothing new. But yes, this is what makes androids behave in certain ways. It's basically a list of things that they should or should not explicitly do. No, nothing new in there that I saw. I can only imagine. But some people, believe it or not, enjoy their freedoms. Adrift in the middle of the ocean, you're free to go in whatever direction you want. But without a compass, you'll just die of exposure. If you only ever follow exactly what the compass says, you'll sail north until you freeze to death. The point is, if you have a compass, you know which direction north is. Fortunate for us all, then, that the state is a 1,000,000 megawatt North Star pointing towards complacency at all times. They are so quick, they're both so good. And the media is like the wind, and without wind, you'll get stuck in the tide. It was a nice try, Sarah. Forget it. Do whatever you want with your brushes, woman. And you're pouting again. Great. Sarah, just keep him talking. What? If I'm talking, how will you? Trust me, I've done more delicate work before. Sarah, small talk. Gladly, Adone. Oh, we get to choose Sarah's options. Let's go with tattoos. Sasuke, do you happen to have any tattoos? Are the jury going to ask about that or something? They might. Oh. Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I do have a tattoo. A Komenu on my back. Komenu, a guardian dog. You have a tattoo of a dog. It's a fierce guardian deity. Like a Labrador, like a great fierce... a big dog. Rough. He goes rough. He doesn't go bow. Sorry. Made myself laugh. Perhaps you should have changed it to some other design, like, say, like a dragon. There's no switching. The buyer's remorse must be unbearable. I mean, that's literally the reason I don't have a tattoo. I've, prepared to have 2 separate tattoos in the past, and each time, the first one, I was literally about to have it done, and I changed my mind, and the second one, I didn't get the courage to book in, you know? There's no buyer's remorse. Makeup. Lift your chin. You really think they'll feel bad for me because of some cuts and scrapes? You're not good at listening to instructions, are you? The prosecution has to get 12 strangers to agree that you killed 5 men. Each charge has to be unanimous, a perfect score. So any chip damage we can do, any doubt we can sow, we take it. And any advantage we're given, we make full use of it. But the advantage you're talking about is my face. Are you really not used to this kind of attention, Sasuke? Look, it may be true that at times some women have expressed, and men no doubt. He's blushing. All I'm saying is there is a difference between knowing your strengths and powdering up like this. Pretend it's war paint. Is that how you see it? No, but I'm a grown-up. Mob history. Thank you for entertaining my questions last night, Sasuke. Did she ask you about your dimensions? The subject might have come up. Sarah. She's a talkative one, isn't she? Sorry if she kept you up all night. No, she's no trouble, just curious. Reminds me of... we discussed history. Oh, well, she must have put you right to sleep. Adone, it was his choice as subject. So you read history, Sasuke. Here I assumed you spent all your free time frowning in the corners of rooms with your arms crossed. We talked about the Roman Empire for your information. And criminal empires. Nothing too detailed, I hope. But Sasuke, I still don't understand. What did you mean when you said criminal organizations used to be structured differently? Only that the old ways don't fit in our new 21st century world. Old ways? Well, he's talking about race, Sarah. Race? I don't understand. Well, that's to be expected. After all, you share 98% of your components with a washing machine. More! That is an untrue and unflattering comparison. Maybe you do get it. Look, Sarah. Names like Mafia, Gakudo, Sanhihui, They all came from different cultures, but they all refer to a kind of path. An outsider's path, and the pride that comes with living by your own set of rules. Those rules were the first criminal organizations, underground guilds, lending systems, militias, secret societies. Oh, sure, they were basically just big friendly charities. Then the world got smaller and people started moving around and the mafia changed. I'm assuming where this is going is stuff like how, only a Sicilian-born person can be made in, like, the Italian mafia. I assume that's what he's saying, that isn't the case anymore. Either that or it's gone in the opposite direction and it's got even more strict. It became a way for immigrants to band together to have some kind of power in places that wouldn't give them a chance at anything remotely respectable. But the world kept getting smaller and more complex, and eventually that kind of community couldn't form, let alone survive. Why? Not enough shared experiences. Shared experiences, I see. Fancy way of saying the internet came along. Well, yes, technology negates the physical distance between people. When you spend most of your life online, you end up with more in common with people on the other side of the planet than your own neighbours, just because of where your recommendations take you. So the immigrant experience disappeared? Fractured, more like, cracked into a million shards with a hammer. While generational or economic experiences got cemented. The world is more diverse and varied than it's ever been, in every sense. Except economically. Wealth inequality is at historical highs. As it has been every year since before I was born. To answer your question, Sarah, that's what binds the members of a criminal organization to one another. Their socio-economic status. I'm not sure that's true. Because I suppose he's not saying that they have to be the same one. Because, yeah, like, you can guarantee that those people who were, like, kowtowing to Makoto are not in the same socio-economic bracket as him, you know? House Akari is at the top, the Blue Bloods lie below us. Within each organization, wealth is concentrated among the leadership, of course, but each mafia exists in an entirely different strata. I see. I've also read about an organization called the Rust being active here in the city. Are they in the poverty class, then? The Rust? I'd put them in the anarchy class. Glowing tattoos and spiked hair, chromed biceps and sharpened teeth. The Blue Bloods, for all their faults, can put on a tie and go to work, but I can't see the Rust experiences any kind of social mobility. Careful, Sasuke, if the Rust heard you being that classist. The Rust wouldn't care about anything I said or who I stand with. They don't need any excuse to start ripping open modders and grabbing whatever they can. Things like that happen in this city? Only in the shadows, Sarah. Nowhere you'd ever find yourself. Finally run out of steam? On to the grim business, then. How'd things go with your investigation? Oh, Sarah. That bad, was it? Nonsense! It was pretty bad. With what I've seen so far, there's no one else who could have killed Chopin. Rogers, the huntsman. Even if I managed to pick apart all the evidence for the pod's deaths, they've got a police officer who will swear on the stand that he arrested Sasuke standing over his partner's dead body. What's it going to look like in there? Sorry, I'm just thinking about the body cam stuff. Either Rogers killed... And I don't think so. I think Rogers is an opportunist, but also a coward. I don't think he's good at what he does. So I don't think Rogers killed Chopin. I think it was the huntsman. Yeah, I think it was the huntsman. I think he was hiding in the room, that's why the window was open. And he... Why did we go into the room below the other one? And not do anything there apart from just talk? I suppose it was private. Talking outside might have been overheard. But yeah, I reckon it was the huntsman with the katana in the back while Chopin was going to investigate the room that Sasuke was in. He got through the back, and then the huntsman heard Rogers coming, legged it out the window, and Chopin maybe followed him towards the... No, because he got dragged. I don't know. I still blame the huntsman or Rogers. I mean, Rogers, I think, was responsible for his death. I think he was piloting him there to die, but I'm not sure it'll be a good way to win the case by pointing at his grieving partner and saying, he did it. He did it. Stupid fat hobbitses. What's it going to look like? Sorry, I got distracted there. What's it going to look like in there? You've never been inside a courtroom? Never as a defendant. I'm just wondering how many cops I should expect. In the gallery, a sea of blue, cheap intimidation tactics. Yes, but I can't fault them for that. Would line up much the same for one of ours. You say that, and yet I don't see any other Icaria around. This is a completely different scenario. I wonder, has she passed on the message? I assume she hasn't. Like the find a way out thing. And the house can't afford to appear beside a cop killer when they're being audited by the state. How understanding of you. Also, I like that there's this sort of halo over Sarah because she's an angel. Adone, I think Sasuke is sad that his friends haven't shown up. Good catch. You were hired by Makoto of House Icaria, weren't you, Adone? Surely he would want to be in attendance. Don't be absurd, Makoto shouldn't be transported anywhere without a full security team. Besides which, he shouldn't be put through the long elevator ride to this 48th floor just for my sake. What's so bad about an elevator ride? Is he claustrophobic? No, that is... Yes, but... You can't tell anyone, understand? Who the hell would I tell that to? Right. Look, it's illegal to stream trial proceedings under most circumstances, but I'm sure House Icaria wouldn't mind paying a fine. They'll be watching from somewhere in the courtroom. That would be a waste of the house's coin. But I suppose they might consider keeping an eye on the case's progression. As will the Blue Bloods, no doubt. Adone, I think Sasuke's spirits have rallied. Really? How can you tell? Oh, hello. Wearing your uniform, I see. He lifted his gaze and his eyes seemed brighter as if... Good, now try and keep his spirits high. How do I do that? I don't know, just be adorable. You're very good at that. Think of something fun. Right. Sasuke, shall we arm wrestle? Oh. Good morning, Morgan. Good morning, Emma. You seem tired. Want to push this off till next week? Actually, that sounds... Hey. Sorry. But we'll be facing off soon enough. Why not savour the playfulness while we still can? Fair enough. Losing sleep over this case? Not really, no. Things look pretty cut and dry to me. What about you? You toss and turn all night before your big debut as a mob lawyer? Not at all. I slept like a rock. Lucky. I mean, I've been getting good rest, more or less. Just having a lot of late nights lately. Late nights? By the way, I love it when they do this, when they do the subtle colour changes. It's just such a cool thing. Like going out? No. Ah. Just late night chats. Chatting about what? God, look at them all. Never seen so many cops in one building. They'd bring a marching band into the courtroom if they could. Theatre. Right. Oh, why is... Like, I'm not... Why? I was about to ask, why is Morgan so terrified? She can sense this as much as I can, that Emma is still circling HBK. Interesting. It's really fascinating how terrified Morgan gets so quickly just by Emma being like, yeah, I've been working late a lot. Why? Why have you been working late? What could you possibly be working late? Why have you just been going out on dates and stuff, maybe? No? Damn. Well, theatre and trial weren't all that far apart back in ancient Greece. Would hope we progressed since then. You don't approve of this show of force, I take it? Is it that obvious? Thing is, Emma is not a bad person. Like, a lot of the time, and I'm just going to praise this game a bit more, hope that's okay. A lot of the time in these things, you get, like, the other lawyer is always portrayed as, like, just this smug asshole who is all about, like, winning and being the victor and proving themselves right. Emma has morals. Emma has morals that she will stick to and tell others about, which is, you know, an important part of having morals is sharing them and standing by them. Like in the previous one, she talked about HBK and all of this, and in this one, she doesn't like the police's tactics, and she isn't just flatly the state is right type thing, which you would expect from from the DA. But yeah, interesting. I really like Emma as a character. Is it that obvious? I'd like to say this is because of who Chopin's family is, but we both know that's not what this is really about. A cop is dead. The state wants to make it clear that that isn't tolerated. Cops volunteer to defend our laws and protect our citizens. Volunteers don't get paid. Besides, cops, courts, the state, all they can do is enforce the laws, not defend them. Guns and arms can't defend against corrosion anyway. Rot comes from the deep. So you'd rather the death of a police officer get the same treatment as any other citizen? Suppose that's not possible. They'll get increasingly fewer chances to play the victim every year, and they never let the opportunity pass. No, I guess the best I could hope for is that the state makes the same show of force whenever any crime is committed. Oh, that is so cool. That sudden twist of the knife. That was great. If they treated every death like the death of a cop, maybe I could have caught HBK by now. You're still on that? Of course, shooting deaths are down, but do you know how many missing persons cases there are in this city? How many deaths get written up as mod harvesting attacks gone wrong? It's a big city, Morgan. More than enough blood running through the streets for HBK to launder their kills in. She said that in episode 0. You shouldn't joke like that. What, you don't believe me? Just last month, missing person. The report was filed by their employer when they didn't show up to work, 7 days after they had last been seen by anyone. They were just some part-time worker, no close friends, no family. They went to work and they came home, paid their bills. And then they disappeared. And no one cared or even noticed until their job didn't get done and those bills went unpaid. No one noticed until they stopped buying in. The body was found a full 2 weeks later. The decay was... what happened to them? Blunt force to the back of the head? Something metallic with a sharp corner, we think? It was a roughly cubed machine part I pulled. Oh no. The thing about this interaction right here is that Morgan knows exactly who Emma is talking about. Like, it doesn't take her a moment to think, which one was that? It was a roughly cubed machine part I pulled from a dumpster nearby. If it's snugly in my hand and it came through his skull like a shovel through snow. Kicked into the bay, might not have even been weighed down. Just thrown away like a cheap... That's terrible. Did you find any belongings on them? No. It's probably a mugging then, right? No, there would have been other injuries from a struggle. And a thief who accidentally committed murder would be too panicked, too terrified to... You know how muggers think now? I can learn how anyone thinks. Even HBK with a robust enough profile. Well, good luck building it all by your lonesome. I'm not working on this by myself. Sorry, right. Did you want to beg for mercy real quick before we begin? Now, where would be the fun in that? Very interesting. Emma's convinced somebody that HBK is still out there. 1204. Courtroom 48D. I wonder who we're going to get as an ad this time, like as a judge, an adjudicator. The courtroom gallery is quite full today, isn't it? Awash in a sea of pissed off cops. Doesn't exactly shore up one's confidence, does it? 5 counts of murder would be newsworthy any day of the week. Add in the fact that one of the bodies belongs to a cop and a crowd was to be expected. Didn't think they'd be so quiet, though. Maybe they're all just waiting for the firing pistol before they start casting their stones. Don't let it get to you, Sasuke, they're just posturing. Posturing, I understand. I've been in attendance for my share of tense negotiations. But the bloodlust in those rooms was always mutual. You don't feel any animosity towards these cops? I'm used to summoning my temper on command. I might have forgotten how to get angry for my own sake. You just worry about the jury. What about the adjutant? They cannot be intimidated by muscle, bribed with cash, or disarmed with fine tailoring. All of which makes them quite favoured when it comes to prosecuting organised crime. Have you been in court many times before, then? It's an eye for an eye in the world we operate in. We don't file assault charges, we just answer them. Though even that has become rare. The house is elevated. Blue Bloods and Rust and all the rest of the rabble, we're beyond their reach now. And when it comes to our peers, we communicate very differently. Must make being a bodyguard pretty boring. I think your work sounds very rewarding and exciting, Sasuke. Thank you. Especially the other day when you were captured and beaten by your rivals. Yes. What I was trying to hint at, Morgan, is that you should not be expecting assistance from the house. Honestly, the thought hadn't crossed my mind. Being on the winning side for once? What the hell would that even feel like? So there won't be any men in black approaching the jury during lunch and offering them paper bags of cash? No. Well, if we do really bad, we won't even make it to lunch, so... Sasuke, what are you staring at? Are you looking for the jury? No, I know they aren't here. It used to be mandated that juries be physically present for court proceedings. People felt it was important they look the accused in the eye. To help them evaluate their character? Why bother? Most people suck at that. Always have. True. Perhaps it was considered part of the punishment then. To have to look them in their eyes. A punishment for the jury or the defendant? Alright, kiddos. Chins up, shoulders out. Show's about to start. Oh, I just remembered. Do you think the adjutant assigned to this particular case? Obviously, it's gonna be me. Obviously. I mean, that's a gimme. Easy. How? It's 80. What are the chances? 80. Automated dependent adjutant. Likes mountain air, which he's never smelled. Gymnastics, which he's never seen. Luxury, which he's never had. Dislikes happy couples who ask you to take their photo, which she's never experienced either. Pineapple on pizza until proven guilty. Shopping carts always returned. Favourite quote is the one she's wearing. Favourite quote, let he who is without sin play first or draw first. That's a cool line. It's 80. What are the chances? There should be at least 83 other personalities in the building's network, at least. Well, Your Honor, thank you for presiding so honorably. I do try. Try. Because it's a trial. Tougher crowd than usual. And that's not counting all the grim monoliths standing tall out there in the gallery. Who died? 5 people, Your Honor. Yikes, what's the damage? 2 counts of manslaughter, 2 counts of homicide in the 2nd degree, and 1 count of homicide in the 1st degree. Sorry, how is it possibly manslaughter? Bud, are you trying to set a gold split with all that? Oh, bugger. Sorry. I tried to go into the overlay and it accidentally set it to auto. Bud, are you trying to set a gold split with all that? What's with the record-setting grind set? Huh. Okay. I mean, 2 things here. One, apparently the dictionary definition of manslaughter is the crime of killing a human being without malice or forethought or in circumstances not amounting to murder. So this will be, what, the first self-defense, maybe? But even then, I'm not sure that really applies here. But also, I always thought it was malice or forethought. I didn't think it was malice aforethought. Aforethought being a single word. I didn't know that was a single word. And considering the 5 people died, 2 being shot through the chest, 1 being stabbed in the neck and 1 being having his head hacked at by a sword, and the last one a sword shoved through his chest, how are any of those manslaughter? Apparently the difference between 1st and 2nd degree murder is planning. So 1st degree is like willful, premeditated with malice aforethought, whereas 2nd degree is not premeditated or planned. And I mean, I know you don't always go for like the highest one that you can, unless you do want to make a point of it, which you'd think they would be. I assume the 1st degree murder they're going for is for Chopin. But it seems really odd if they all happen at once that you'd go for such a spread. Maybe I just don't know law. I'll rephrase that. I don't know law. This isn't my area. But that just seems really odd to me.